right, guys, that is my amazing guest that's going to be on here in a second, guys. Marilynn Hughes is the out-of-body travel author. She is the founder of the Out-of-Body Travel Foundation. She has written over 98 books, 40 magazines, and 15 CDs on out-of-body travel, and she is like the Michael Jordan of out-of-body experience and information. Meaning she's at the top of her game, and she's an expert, and people seek her out to because she's been so involved in this really interesting topic here. Also, she has researched, written, and taught about out-of-body travel. Since 1987, she's appeared on hundreds of radio and TV programs to discuss the thousands of out-of-body experiences, and she's studied the ancient sacred texts of all major and minor world religions extensively. I mean, this is somebody who is so interesting, and I am happy to say that we got her for Simply Amazing Women. So she will be in Simply Amazing Women, and with no further ado, guys, it is my special guest, Miss Marilynn Hughes. Marilynn, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, I'm just hanging out with you, Casey.
Oh, wow, that's great. You sound great right there. But I'm just going to ask you just for one thing, if you could just lower that volume on your phone just for a second.
Okay, is that better?
Yes. Yes, there it is. Perfect. You got it. Okay. All right, so cool. So, Marilynn, great to have you back on here. I'm still getting
it's great to be back with you, Casey.
Yeah, I'm still getting feedback. Can you put that? Can you try to make it a little bit lower?
Is that better?
Let's see. Yep, you got it. Perfect. Great. I can't. Can you hear me?
Okay, cool.
All right.
Yes.
Great. All right. So Marilynn, first of all, let's talk about for people who are just who may be new to you and don't really know what you do. What is out of body experience? What is that?
Well, it's when your spirit separates from your body and you experience the multitude of realms that exist. You know, there's an infinity of realms that exist beyond the physical. And this is something that I think a lot of people haven't really thought about. But it's a reality that is so close to us, and it is something that we can access. And by so doing, we are giving ourselves the opportunity to really touch into our own destiny, the purpose of our lives here, and to receive divine guidance, and to really propel our lives forward for God and also for purpose, and to really kind of like just focus our energy in a way that completely changes everything. It really changes everything, because you're just going, you're no longer wasting time or energy or looking in the wrong directions. You are receiving guidance that tells you exactly where your focus needs to be and exactly what you need to accomplish in this lifetime.
Wow. Now, can anybody access this information, or is it just somebody you really have to study or something like that?
Well, what I'm finding is that most people, well, first of all, we do know that everybody actually has out-of-body experiences in their sleep, but a lot of people are not aware of having them. They're unconscious experiences or subconscious experiences.
That is so interesting. I can't wait to hear about that.
Experiences.
That is so interesting. I can't wait to hear about that when we talk about that, because you say a lot of people it happens to them when they sleep, huh?
Yeah, everybody can. It is a natural human experience. I think that's one of the things that I like to point out, because people. Oh, this is supernatural, paranormal. No, it's not. This is a natural part of our human existence. It's just tapping into becoming consciously aware of something that's already happening to every one of us. Now, what I would say to answer that question is some of us are more prone to becoming consciously aware of these things than others. But what I have seen is that those who really seek it out Not nearly as difficult as one would think. I see really good results with people very quickly when their intentions are set in the right direction. We have a lot of books available. We have a course of study available. I do spiritual counseling with people, and what we see is that when someone just has a few little tweaks in their spiritual focus, and we get them on the right track, things change rather quickly, and they are having profound mystical experiences really quickly.
Wow.
I mean, it's happening really quickly.
That's so cool. That's so amazing.
It changes their lives very, very profoundly.
Now, let me ask you, because you went through your share of challenges. I mean, in 2001, you got diagnosed with cardiomyopathy and heart failure, and you were basically, you had as they say, a near-death experience in 2003. But before 2001, before you got diagnosed, did you know as much as you do now?
No, but I started having the experiences back in 1987. So it was an interesting way that things unfolded in my case, because I started having these experiences when I was 22, and we had talked before where I explained that I actually had my first really profound experience when I was actually 9 years old, and it was at that time that I was actually instructed that there was going to be some type of purpose that I needed to fulfill, and this would come back to me in my adulthood. So, I started having the experiences when I was about 22, and I was writing about this and had been writing for, a couple of decades when I was diagnosed. But the diagnosis and the subsequent illnesses and the near-death experience, and it was like something that accelerated and intensified the search for knowledge.
Okay.
It's interesting because one of the things that I always felt, and I've had I was very blessed with, a pretty miraculous kind of recovery. I shouldn't be here, but
Yeah, you weren't supposed to be here right now.
No,
Thank God you are, though.
I should have been, long gone. But
yeah, well, thank God.
God is good, and I had great doctors who really worked with all the new advances that are happening as well. I feel like God works through them as well. And so I was honored to have some really caring doctors who worked with the new advances that were coming in, and also, I knew that God was working on me as well. I had really profound experiences during those years where I was shown, I was being given favors and given gifts and graces to help me through things that I shouldn't have survived. But what these things did was they kind of propelled me by, there's a certain thing that happens to us when we kind of live in what I call the borderland, and I was living in the borderland for a good long time, which meant I lived between the worlds of life and death, and you might relate to this too, because you went through some serious health crisis yourself.
Yeah.
When you're living in that world between life and death, there is a shift and a change that occurs. There's a shift in your own perceptions and stuff. But in my case, I definitely also felt that there was a shift in consciousness.
What does that mean, like, Marilynn? Can you? I don't mean to interrupt you, but if you say something that
no worries,
because a lot of people don't really understand, myself included. So I want to know everything that you're talking about. So can you tell me what that term means?
Consciousness.
Yeah.
Shift in consciousness.
Right.
It was like I was no longer just existing in this physical world. I was drifting into a state of consciousness that you might see, when you read the books like that hospice nurses speak about the stages before people are preparing to cross over. I lived in that world, you know. I would be traveling back and forth from the living to, the borderline, the world of the crossing over,
Yeah,
There were many times when, I would up night and I would have open before me, rather than the doorway bedroom, there would be this great swirling galactic tunnel
No way.
to heaven.
Oh my God.
No, I had it all the time. And it was such a profound thing because it was and that's what I mean when I say there was this shift in consciousness. I wasn't just of this world anymore.
But was it scary?
I had to kind of live in both worlds. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. But when you would see this, would you be scared or did you feel comfortable? What did you feel? Do you remember what you felt like?
I felt such awe. It was always so beautiful, and there was always this intensive pull. And of course, I in these instances, I was usually going to go on a journey and be taken to see something because, like we've talked about, I've had thousands of these out-of-body experiences. I would be taken to the heavens, or I would be taken to the hells or to the purgatories, and I would be taught something. And I had this yearning, and I think a lot of people who've had near-death experiences as well, they have this continual yearning that they carry with them, that these experiences I always felt that. I wanted to, I'll always long for home. And, home to me is heaven. But I also carry within me the responsibility that I know that God has placed within my soul, and therefore I honor that. And so, it's not that we make choices that are based on higher thrusts, things that we've agreed to do before we came here, before we incarnated in this lifetime, contracts that we may have agreed to fulfill. And so there's it's just this awe, this wonder, and it's like this pressure, because when the heavens are opening, it's such a highly charged vibration that's coming from above, and you just want to be there.
Wow.
You just want to go there, and you don't want to come back.
Oh man, it sounds so cool. I mean, did this happen before the foundation was founded in 2003? Did this happen the first time, or did this happen when you got sick? Oh, where'd we go? Where's are you there? I guess she'll come back on. Anyway, guys, isn't this cool? Marilynn Hughes, guys. She is the out-of-body travel author. She is the founder of the Out-of-Body Travel Foundation. And you guys should check out information about her and everything that she does if you go to outofbodytravel.org. Now, let me see if this is on my end, because there's this new technology here. And I don't think I got Marilynn with me right now, so let me restart this. And it's quite bothersome when you're in the middle of an interview and this happens. So I might take this technology, I might throw it out the window. This technology do I have her? I got her. I think I got her. Marilynn, do I have you?
I'm not sure what happened. I apologize.
No, it's okay. I was hey, that worked out good. So you were right back there. Do I sound? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I was going to say, there was a time where, I had talked about my near-death experience with Capriana in detail, but there were, other experiences where I had beautiful experiences with Christ and with other beings. But there was one, when Christ had told me that he was giving me a job of being an overseer of souls coming and going. And what this had to do with was the work that I've been called to do with the afterlife journey of souls. And a great deal of the work that I do has to do with helping people as they're crossing over and moving through the first stages of the afterlife.
Oh, wow.
And so a lot of this has to do, ironically, with, traumatic death. Sometimes it has to do with suicide. Sometimes it has to do with violence. And sometimes it just has to do with regular natural death. And so there's a process that we go through, and you can read about a lot of this in my books about these afterlife journeys that people take, and how I am directed and souls are directed to assist.
That's if you go to outofbodytravel.org. That you can get it there.
Yes. Yes, yeah, and I usually tell people start out with Come to Wisdom's Door and the Mysteries of the Redemption, and then there's 98 plus books there. But if you continue to follow the books, you're going to see there's a progression. There's over 10 different series of books on the site, so you're going to find, the music that you were playing before is actually from the Mysteries of the Redemption and Galactica. During that period when I was writing those books, I also, received music in the out-of-body travel state, and I would come back and write the music down, and then, I performed and produced and did all that stuff with it. And there's a five CD set called the Out-of-Body Travel Foundation Hymnal that you can either download for free or get it on CD. I think it's also probably available with MP3s on, Amazon. And you can do that. And these songs also serve the purpose of trying to shift the energy of people to assist them in achieving these out-of-body travel states. Another CD that I also did was called The Frequency of Otara, and that one was done to mimic the process the angels taught me, which was one of the procedures that they do to help a soul to not only to get out of their body, but also to reach higher states of evolution and wisdom and knowledge.
Wow.
And that's by raising your vibration. And so you'll see with the Frequency of Otara that I was directed to work towards recreating that on a CD to help people to experience it in that way and help them to kind of transcend and hopefully bring it over into the mystical. And a lot of people have had a lot of success with that too, because a lot of these things, the purpose of them is to shift their energy in a way that assists them in making this. Most of our readers find that they have spontaneous experiences as they begin to read those two books. And then what happens is they continue to read the books, and that gives them a lot of direction as to how to proceed forward.
Wow.
And of course, I'm always available to everybody, so my email address is there, and I answer every single email I get. And so
yeah, I think it's amazing, and I want people to hear this one right here is called "He Was There," and it's produced and it's created by Miss Marilynn Hughes. I want everybody just to take a couple of seconds here, listen to this. This is some pretty cool stuff. It's very calming. I got to tell you that.
Not many had known him, but she
Man, this is good.
As her life was passing, he was there. He was there. Not many had known him, but she remembered still. And as her life was passing, he was there.
Wow. That is awesome. What?
Casey, one thing I'd like to point out, that one, obviously I think the meaning of that one's pretty clear. That's, reminding all of us that, when even though someone may be gone in life, they're never gone, really. And then we always are reunited, in death. And the other song called "I Feel the Change" that you were playing earlier, ironically, is has its own relevance today because I wrote that song back in 1992 after the riots that we experienced in Los Angeles.
Oh
the
my
Rodney
God.
King. Yeah.
Wow. All right. This is "I Feel the Change." Let's listen to a little bit of this till we get back on.
I can feel it in the darkness of the night. The sky is on fire from the hatred of the land. I can feel it in the darkness of the night. It's a crazy thing, but I feel it, and it tatters my soul. It's the helpless feeling of a people who've been bought and there's a change, it's a coming.
Guys, if you're tuning in right now, we're listening to "I Feel the Change," produced and created by Marilynn Hughes, who is my guest tonight. She is one of the world's most amazing people. She will be in Simply Amazing Women that comes out. We're looking around December, and her story is just incredible. She is a very accomplished author. She has written over 98 books, 40 magazines, and 15 CDs on out-of-body travel. And she's going to be with us. So we're going to hear a lot from her. And she's also the founder of the Out-of-Body Travel Foundation. And you guys can get more information if you go to outofbodytravel.org. And that's Marilynn Hughes. And she is amazing story. And I can't wait to hear more about her. But we were out of time anyway. So let's take it out with the end of this song here, which is called "I Feel the Change." And I believe if you guys go to outofbodytravel.org, you can get everything there and more information. And I just find her fascinating. I'm sure everybody else does too. So we're going to hear more from her. So everybody just listen to the end of this and listen to WMAP for more about Marilynn Hughes and the world's most amazing people.
Come on, stand up, come together. Be yourself and I'll be me. As a people, let's create harmony. and all. It's a crazy thing, but I feel it, and it tatters my soul. It's the helpless feeling of a people who've been bought and sold. I can feel it in the darkness of the night. I can feel it in the darkness of the night.